Tell me if you remember making this statement: Mom, it's just not fair. Now, I don't know what your mama said to you, but my mom always said to me, David, fair is where you go to see the pigs. I hated it then, and I probably hate the saying now, though I use it all the time, because fair is where you go to see the pigs. And then and I think that was the first time I learned really about personal responsibility because she kept putting it back in my lap. So today we are talking about what I learned from two old books and a new one about personal responsibility. Now, I grew up a dyslexic child. Those of you who don't know what that is, it means we really struggled reading. Read words backwards. It was horrible. I was in dummy English from the first grade on until I started getting help and started to learn how to read. It was crazy, right? But I remember a conference that I went to that literally transformed my life. I don't know about you. You probably have one of those friends that inviting you to go to meetings and you're like, dude, no, I'm going to another one of your stupid meetings. Well, my buddy, he's like, David, it's in Vegas. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's in Vegas. Okay, when do we leave? Let's go. We get there, MGM Grand, electric. And we're waiting there for the business guru to get up. And he stands up, and there are two things that you need to do every single day. Remember, what goes through you sticks to you, so you've got to be careful what goes through you. He says, you have got to read for 30 minutes every single day. Now, remember, guys, Jim Rohn used to say this all the time, that skip a meal, but never miss your 30 minutes of reading. It's that important. And he said, number two is you have got to go to Fantasy Island for 30 minutes every day. Now, Fantasy Island is where we go, where our hopes and our dreams live, right? This is where we are visualizing the achievement and the accomplishment of the thing that we most want in life. Our definite, when I say library, I mean a bookstore. And I bought two books. I bought The Acorn by Jim Cathcart, and I bought this one, Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty by Harvey Mackay. Now, out of everything I learned from this book, it's all about networking and how to build a network. But what he really captured my attention is when he said, the highest paid people in the world are the best communicators, so you better figure out how to communicate. Very powerful, right? I didn't think a thing of it until I read this one. And in The Acorn Principle in Cathcart, he says, I got my start by joining the Junior Chamber of Commerce, the JCs, as well as I joined other speaking organizations to learn how to communicate, because that was the one thing that transformed my life. So now I had two witnesses that said, look, you got to do something about it. You've got to take action if you want to see something change. So I immediately went out and I started a deep dive into a 21-year process of how to communicate and how to lead. Now, obviously, with COVID and everything, a lot of what we do is transition to digital, but at the same time, we had to take personal responsibility to learn new skills, right? It's not somebody else's fault. It's our own. A lot of people, we want to blame the school system, and then we want to blame the parents. Well, whose responsibility is it to learn? It's mine. But I will tell you that it required somebody to inspire me to go pick up the book, right? Because I wasn't going to pick up a book until I was inspired to pick up the book. So it required some leadership from somebody I didn't even know to get me to go out and buy the book. But once I bought it, I had to read it. And then once I read it, I had to take the action on it, right? Because sometimes that have made all the difference, right? And it's the information that will apply as we move forward. And I said two books from the past and one book from the future, or from most recent. New York Times best-selling book and author Mel Robbins, The High Five Habit. If you're not familiar with it, she has quite a few hacks in this book about how to overcome self-doubt. But the biggest one, and probably the easiest one, is called The High Five Habit. Now, just thinking about this concept of the high five habit, it's all about celebration. When you high five somebody, what are you high fiving them for? We're celebrating them for doing what they did, and they're celebrating. Give credit as a celebration for a high five. She says, look yourself in the eye, really look into your soul, smile, and give yourself a high five in the mirror. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate you, celebrate you for showing up every day, celebrate you for what you're doing every single day. Instead of standing there and looking, oh my gosh, look how I look. Gosh, I got some gray in my beard. I got some lines are starting to come in here. What? No. Rather than beating ourselves up in the mirror, let's celebrate ourselves. And it may take you a little while, 3, 4, 5 times before you can high five yourself without feeling a little awkward. But here's what I'll tell you. That which is easy to do is also easy not to do. And yet those things that are easy to do and easy not to do can make the biggest difference in our lives, such as reading 10 pages of a mind-altering book every day, right? Easy to do, easy not to do. Over time, it adds up to amazing results, just like Compound Infinite, instead of taking personal responsibility for that which is unfair. Because fair is where we go to see the pigs. And then if we've got to make a change, my question for you is, what are you going to do about it? My answer to that question is, hopefully, we've taken a couple of ideas from this live presentation to go and do something about it. We'll see you guys again tomorrow.